Wanted to give a shout out to one of our favorite sponsors, Best Fiends. Oh my gosh, so it's fall now. The weather is getting colder.
This is our favorite time of year.
It's my favorite time of year. All I want to do is curl up on a couch and play Best Fiends. And you know what else I like about this time of the year? Is that all of the levels, like there's different levels because they're constantly switching out the way that the lands look. You're always finding something new. There's always something new to discover.
Also, they also adjust like the puzzles year round too, which is super cool.
Yeah, and there's always just something new and exciting to discover. And I love all of their graphics. You never know what kind of character is going to pop up or what kind of slug that you need to defeat them. So Best Fiends is just such a fun puzzle game. It has tons of 5-star reviews, 100 million downloads. I'm obsessed with it. I also love that you can play it wherever you are. You don't need Wi-Fi to play.
No.
And also, it's free to download. That's $3. Free.
Free $0 to download.
Free $0.
So download Best Fiends free today on the App Store or Google Play.
That's friends without the R. Best Fiends.
So today we were talking.
Hello, welcome to Shit They Don't Tell You. It's a podcast that we have. I'm Nikki Limo. This is my co-host,
Crypto King. So, hi. Today we're talking about very, very, very near and dear topic, very close to my heart. I'm actually shocked that I've never done an episode about this.
Yeah.
I kind of talked about it when we had Andre on, right? Black Nerd Comedy.
Oh, right.
And he,
at Comic-Con.
Yeah, at Comic-Con. And we talked about, well, basically I shit all over the new Star Wars movies. While he sat there uncomfortably because I think he gets invited to a lot of like like
but
Star
he's
Wars
actually
stuff.
really critical of things too. He's honest.
No, he's an independent thinker. I'm just saying it's very funny because
yeah,
you know, I could definitely sense some
You're a little
nervousness.
Harsher. Sure.
Because I was definitely taking big old shit on the new Star Wars movies. However, I would like to talk today about the entirety of Star Wars. Why I love the movies, why I became a fan, and you know, really where I think it's gone and where I think it's going, because I don't feel as sullen. Big fucking time vocab Scrabble word right there.
Right. Okay. Sullen. Not that big, but okay.
Big time Scrabble word, right?
A Scrabble word, sure, because it's
high pointed word there.
No.
2 L's.
That's all 1 point letters.
That's going to be a big
all
score.
Of those letters are 1 point letters.
So point being,
Although,
I'm not nearly
sullen. Here's a huge Scrabble tip, just so you know. If you can use a word that has an S in it and connect it by making a word that's already on the board plural, you get points for both of those words. So anything with an S in it, I love getting S's in Scrabbles. Anyway, go ahead.
So I'm not nearly as sullen as I was about...
No. You're taking the word sullen and
I get an extra point for that.
No, don't waste both your S's on one word, idiot.
I'm gonna use
God,
that.
This is why you suck at Scrabble.
I'm not good at
Suck
Scrabble.
is also a
I'm
good
famously
word.
not good at
K is
Scrabble.
worth 5 points. C's worth 3 points.
Z's worth a lot of points, but
10.
You can't really hack it. Can't really hack it.
I can hack it.
Well, you can spell zebra.
Lazy, days, maze. Go ahead.
Craze.
Zany, Zane.
That's all I got. Wow, way more than I had. Okay, so yeah. So in 1976, well, 1975, because they were filming the movie, George Lucas, he writes a screenplay for Star Wars, right? He takes it...
As a person that's not a Star Wars fan,
please.
and I'm not a Star Wars fan, but I'm just like, I haven't really seen them in order. Yeah. What's in it for me? What am I going to get?
A very interesting story about a creative genius who was a genius at one thing but not all things.
Okay.
And a very underrated woman who actually helped shape Star Wars and basically allowed it to live.
Okay. Love it.
What do you think of that shit?
I like it.
All right. So
who's this woman?
So exactly. So George Lucas, he writes the script, he takes it all over the place, and basically nobody wants to make it. Disney's like, nah, fuck you. And like, get the fuck out of here, you piece of shit. No, I'm kidding. But,
we hate you.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
We will never like this franchise.
No, so he did a movie called THX 1138, which was like his it was like a short. and like it was shot really well and like had a lot of cool effects and stuff for the time.
So he wasn't great at titles.
No, fuck no.
Okay.
Okay, at least not with that movie.
Sounds like a calculator.
Star Wars is a great movie title.
Yeah, that's a great movie title.
So, but he was a fan of like the serial movies of like his youth. And like all the like Flash Gordon stuff, which was like a very popular science fiction character who's had one of his resurgence. There was some Flash Gordon references in the Ted movie. But the point of it is
that's also an old reference.
Yeah, exactly, right. But the point of it is that George Lucas was not really getting a lot of attention for Star Wars. He had just done this movie called American Graffiti, which had done really, really well. And starring, Richie Cunningham himself, right, from Happy Days. Ron Howard, who went on to become a director in his own right. But, George Lucas wasn't really coming up. He was getting a lot of friction. And then a guy at 20th Century Fox, he just took a shot on it. He's like, yeah, fuck it. I'm in. Let's do it.
Okay.
And George Lucas negotiated a deal where they get a certain cut. They're going to fund the movie. They get a certain cut. But George gets the rights, and George gets the merchandising rights, which they thought was useless anyway.
Like, sure.
They're like, we don't give a literal fuck.
Yeah.
We were going to tell you, go fuck yourself, get the fuck out of here. But now we're like, okay, fine. We literally don't care.
Yeah.
So then he gets a check. He goes, he casts Star Wars. He's in pre-production. He's doing the movie. Every actor in the movie, Mark Hamill, you got Han Solo himself, Harrison Ford, you got Carrie Fisher, right, from the Fisher family, like a very...
Did Ewan McGregor come later?
What is it?
Did Ewan McGregor come later? Is Ewan McGregor in this?
He is in the Star Wars movies, but he came later. But actually, he came before. A little joke there for the people listening.
This is a prequel.
For the fans,
Yeah. Okay, got it. So all the hotties were in the prequels.
All the hotties were in the prequels. They get Sir Alec Guinness, who's a very acclaimed actor at the time. He's still a legend, right? But because he did this movie, he's considered like a household name, still a legend forever. So he agrees to do it for a certain percent of the gross of the original Star Wars.
Wow.
Movie. Yes. So it gets pretty interesting. So they are making this movie. Mark Hamill gets the part. He's very confused about what the fuck this movie is, but he's the lead. He is Luke Skywalker, right? And Carrie Fisher gets the part. She's also very confused. Everyone on set's very confused. Harrison Ford famously tells George Lucas, listen, because George would always have them film, and then he would say, okay, let's do it again, but let's do it faster and more intense. He wouldn't really give direct direction. He would just say, okay, let's do it faster and more intense. And so at one point, like there's the lines that these guys have to say is like nuts, right? But at one point, Harrison Ford's like, George, you can write this shit, but you can't fucking say it. Right? You know what I mean? Like, give us a break. Let us like play with it a little bit, So there was like on set, nobody was like, this is the future of movies. This is the beginning of a franchise. Everyone's like, cool, I'm going to get it paid.
I got a job.
It's awesome. Harrison Ford was also in American Graffiti. He actually helped to audition actors to play Han Solo. Burt Reynolds actually gets cast as Han Solo, but then he can't do it because he has prior commitments with a TV show, which was like Magnum PI at the time, I believe. And so he just has to bow out at the last minute. Or no, I think it was Burt Reynolds got cast as Han Solo. I think it was at first. Oh no, I'm thinking of Indiana Jones actually.
Oh, okay. I'm
thinking of Indiana Jones, but Han Solo, Harrison Ford was not the first choice for Han Solo.
Okay.
But he comes in and he's actually a carpenter. He's helping build things at Lucasfilm because he was in American Graffiti as an actor, yes, but he also was a carpenter. That's just how he made money on the side.
Yeah, same with Jesus.
There you go. Similar age.
Yeah.
In his late 20s or I think late 20s at the time. So yeah, he comes in and he's just reading with everybody And he's doing so well with the material that George is like, hey, you want to be Han Solo in this fucking piece of shit? And then, Harrison's like, yeah, fuck it. I don't give a fuck.
I like the conversations they had back then, how they negotiated these deals.
So then
I feel like a fly on the wall.
Exactly. You're there with everybody. They get Peter Mayhew. He plays Chewie Chewbacca, which is his name.
Chewie
Chewbacca's. And yeah, the guy has got to be in basically a gorilla suit all day. Like fucking no fans, no nothing. They get Kenny Baker. He's R2-D2. He's a small person, right? And they basically put him in a trash can.
Wait, that was a person in there?
There was a person in there.
No.
You know how his head turns around and shit? That wasn't robot. He wasn't a robot.
No way.
He was a person inside there named Kenny
that.
Baker. Yeah, Kenny Baker used to sit in there, and it was like a hot tin can. And they're in like Malaysia shooting this thing, in like Tunisia, I believe.
They're not in space?
Fuck no, dude. So they're like shooting this shit in the middle of the desert, and you got fucking poor little Kenny Baker in this like little hot tin can dumpster.
Holy shit.
Like turning the head of R2-D2 as they're moving him around. Yeah,
wow.
It's crazy. But really, when you think about it, all Kenny Baker did was turn the head. Like his contribution to it.
Did he at least get to be, because no, R2-D2 is like just a beep, beep, beep.
Yeah, he just does the beeps. He
doesn't talk. Yeah. You didn't get to do the beeps?
No. And then they got Anthony Daniels, who plays
the beeps?
C-3PO.
Oh yeah, I met
the gold guy. You met him?
Met him.
No, you didn't. That's cool.
Wait, maybe I'm lying. I want to say I'm not lying. So to promote the newest Star Wars, I was actually in a TV show called Speechless, and I did a scene with Kevin Smith,
who I met as well.
And I don't know if it was the original actor of C-3PO or if it was the guy that does all of the PR things now.
I will kill you. You better find out.
I don't remember now.
You didn't even fucking tell me. You know how big a Star Wars fan I am. You didn't fucking tell me that. You said, yeah, I got to work with Kev Smith today.
I have a boomerang of me with C-3PO and...
But with C-3PO, was he... Okay, so you're talking about you were just with the gold guy.
Yep. No.
That wasn't Anthony Daniels. No way. They would have had him somehow acknowledging that it was Anthony Daniels if they bothered to have him.
But if they did, I wouldn't have remembered because it doesn't stick out I just been like, oh, the C-3PO. I don't remember. I'm sorry.
You're such a waste.
I'm sorry.
You're a waste.
I know.
That's like saying you met Carrie Fisher and then you're like, I think she's Princess Leia. I don't know.
I know.
It's crazy. Anyway,
this happened to me so much.
I hate it.
Because I don't watch a lot of things. So so I don't remember if people are a big deal.
So pathetic.
I know.
Okay. So Anthony Daniels, he plays C-3PO. I think I've just set the deck. Now, they film it, they wrap it. All of a sudden, they're having a problem with the edit. The test audiences are not digging it, right? And there's just a lot of blather. There's a lot going on that doesn't need to be going on. Like there's a lot of. If you look at the deleted scenes for Luke Skywalker, there's a guy named Dak, I believe. There's another character, I can't remember, but yeah, there's a character named Wedge that he does scenes with that we've all seen in the movies. But there's another character named Dak, I think, and that guy and Luke have like these weird monologues together where they're like looking at the sky and shit and talking about the rebellion, and like, so enter Marcia Lucas or Marcia Lucas, I believe it's spelled M-A-R-C-A.
I'm gonna say Marcia.
I'm gonna say Marcia Lucas. So she is George Lucas's wife, and she takes hold of the reins of this thing and is like, "Yo, we got to cut this shit down. I'll be the editor for this thing, right?" So she steps in, she edits it down into the theatrical cut that we're all.
She have editing experience?
I'm not sure. That's a good question.
Yeah, because that's like kind of a huge task.
I think she did have editing experience already. I mean, she has worked. I mean, she's won multiple Oscars. I think she won an Oscar for this movie.
Well, obviously, but previous to this, I'm saying.
Previous to this, I'm not sure. I have to check on that.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure she did if she was going to take on.
Dude, she's a genius.
That's
straight up.
Editing is
straight up. The reason why Star Wars is what it is today is because of George Lucas as well. Yeah. Obviously, he literally created the whole goddamn thing. But she chopped off the fat, cut down.
Well, there's
the
a
edges.
reason why they release a director's cut of movies, which is usually way longer than the
and
movie
it's
that
nonsense.
everyone sees.
Dude,
because you
the
need
Snyder cut. Fucking look. Yes, was it better than the other one? I'm sure. I didn't watch it yet, but bro, 4.5 hours. Holy.
you
fuck,
need
God.
outside eyes to tell you like which parts to keep
Yeah,
in
just
and
shut
not.
up.
Yeah.
Shut up. No, stop. This is stupid. No,
The
stop.
hubris
Exactly.
of these
Thank you.
directors, right?
Hey, she quotes me. Okay, so Marsha Lucas basically saves Star Wars in the edit.
Okay.
Right. And this is kind of a newer, well, this is like I would say like 15 years old narrative now that people understand, or 10 at least. Mm-hmm. Where people are going like, they're giving her more credit.
Okay.
Because she won the Oscar at the time. Like at the Academy Awards, the sole Oscar, other than for, I mean, this whole Oscar having to do with story and like all that shit, not effects, was for editing, and it went to Marsha Lucas.
Nice.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. So, so then, you know, Star Wars comes out. The merchandising is goddamn insane.
Of course.
So 20th Century kicking themselves in the ass because they didn't get merchandising, right? But really before this, there wasn't any like franchise movies where like, you know, you're gonna get a lunchbox of like Macbeth or like fucking a Charlton Heston movie. You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna get like kids playing with the Planet of the Apes action figure
Yeah, I didn't
set.
really think about that. How that
Exactly.
wasn't really like a thing yet.
Wasn't a thing.
Huh.
Yet. There were action figures. That stuff existed, but it wasn't like pervasive, and it wasn't really associated with movies as much. Mm-hmm. But then George Lucas comes in and changes that entire game.
Wow.
So they have there was like an original Star Wars playset, right? Like where like before, like the Christmas that Star Wars came out during, some kids got gifted just like a little sheet that says you're going to get the Star Wars action figures when they ship.
Oh.
Like that's it.
I definitely got that before. Not for Star Wars action figures, but just for things that were late.
Yeah, and you know, frankly, if those kids never even open those things, they're worth like fucking thousands and thousands of dollars.
That's
right
what
now.
I hate about
crazy?
I hate about collectible culture
It's
is that it's meant for kids to play with, but then how torturous to be a kid to get this and then you're not allowed to play with it.
No, it's actually a circular firing squad because so it's meant for kids to play with, but those kids grow up and want to recreate that experience by opening it again, or at least having it again before they opened it, because it's like, I guess they're edging or something. I don't even know what the fuck they're doing. But like, that's what I mean. Like, because Pokemon cards never got to be a thing until all of us started making money who grew up with Pokemon cards,
Yeah.
and then we want to open Pokemon cards again, and bullshit, right?
Right.
So it's really our own fault. We
Yeah.
create the market for this.
Yeah,
shit.
of course.
And we have the spending power to buoy it. So yeah, it's fascinating. But yeah, so Star Wars is huge, right? Comes out, becomes an international fucking goddamn smash. Everyone's talking Star Wars. You know, Saturday Night Live, Bill Murray does a Star Wars theme song. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so pervasive. Like, it's just everywhere. And he's like, Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars. He's just like giving the lyrics
to the tune of it.
the tune of it. And then, you know, Carrie Fisher's instantly a sex symbol. You know, Mark Hamill's not. Harrison Ford, instantly a sex symbol. So that kind of, you know, it gets revealed later through like memoirs. I mean, this all takes like 30 years of
course,
like, archaeological digging to find out all of the stories of what happened during the time. But apparently Mark Hamill was pretty upset that basically everyone walked away from the movie.
And got to be a sex symbol.
But him. Oh, and, you know, he was attractive and stuff, but he wasn't what everyone was talking about. All the kids wanted to be Han Solo. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? All the little girls wanted to be Princess Leia's. Like, it really didn't happen yet where Luke was sick yet.
I see.
He was sick. Mm-hmm. And I love Luke Skywalker's. But, like, it does take a couple of movies to go, like, okay, Luke Skywalker's is sick.
And those are the ones that stick longer. Because, like,
exactly.
you have to get to know, you got to, like, get to know them.
Well, you know, I don't, you know, like I said, I don't know what he was directed to do, but faster and more intense.
Like, I didn't think you were that sick until, like, you know, we've known each other a couple of years. And
Thank you. But no, but faster and more intense, if you're being a whiny farm boy, means faster, and be more intensely a whiny farm boy. And so I think his performance in the OG Star Wars
it's just a
was
fast,
kind
intense,
of whiny boy,
Star boy.
little bit, and Han Solo was way cooler. And so I think that if you just watch the first Star Wars movie, you're like, yeah, fucking Han Solo, I'll be in Han Solo all day.
Of course.
But by the time they did Empire, his character started to evolve. He got better at being a Jedi, you know what I mean, or on his Jedi path. He wasn't a Jedi yet, I guess. But he was maturing more. He was not whiny anymore, really. And so you're able to root for him way, way easier.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'd be whiny too if I was an orphan. Was he an orphan? I mean, did they present it that way?
yeah, basically. Well,
Because like I know what happens because I watched the prequels, but I just didn't watch the originals.
which is just so tragic. If I was an actual look, I'm not one of those nerds who's like, you better watch this shit, or you're not even a real person.
I've watched half of the first one
Look,
a lot
it's
of
slow.
times.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I get it. Like it's just slow. Like, and I know the 1976 audience is much different than a current audience, but like the pacing is actually pretty slow for it.
Yeah, they didn't do it faster and more intense.
It wasn't faster, more intense, really. But
Like a lot of dates I've been on, I'm like, faster, more intense. They just don't.
a lot of marriages you've been in, I like that too.
Mm-hmm.
I heard. The reviews are in. Okay, so
Yeah, make this marriage go faster.
so now the pressure's on.
Okay.
It's time to do a Star Wars sequel. Okay, except I guess it's not a sequel. It's actually the 5th movie, but like whatever, George. Okay, nobody knew that this was the 4th movie. He retitles it. It's not just Star Wars. It's now Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope, and then George starts like doing the talk show circuit and talking about how
Wait, did we jump ahead? I thought there was
No.
only 3 in the
there
original.
is. But George Lucas retitles Star Wars to Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope
Oh.
before any other movie is released. He's like, oh, that's Episode 4, actually. There's a whole other story in the galactic history. And everyone's like, okay.
Oh, that's why the prequels.
That's why prequels, right?
I see.
And that's why they're numbered like they are. Why is the first movie titled the 4th movie?
That's so weird.
Isn't it weird? It's also inventive. It's also
It's very
new.
inventive.
So I'm, credit where it's due, but it's also
Sure.
kind of silly because, like, he says it was supposed to be the first movie, but he didn't title it that way originally.
Yeah, and then
Or he says it
also
was supposed to be the 4th movie. He
because the
didn't title it that
prequels didn't come out for like 20 years later.
way. Exactly.
So if you're like
30 years.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, exactly 25 years later. But yeah. So George, the heat is on, right? Everyone's talking about what's the sequel going to be. When's the sequel coming out? So they hire a different director because, frankly, George had to set up a company called Industrial Light and Magic, which is called ILM.
Mm-hmm.
For most people watching this right now, you probably have heard of ILM because it's literally the production graphics house for like everything you watch.
Oh,
It's like that big.
that's cool.
So he sets up ILM, and then he's running that, and he's running Lucasfilm, and he just doesn't have time to direct a new Star Wars movie. And maybe even he just felt the pressure. Who knows? I don't know. He never said that. But like, bro, if you're going to give up the director's chair to a man named Irvin Kershner, who's an accomplished director in his own right, but you're giving up your baby to somebody else to direct it, I have to think that might be a contributing factor for the sequel. So George is still obviously executive producer. He's in charge of it. He's the daddy for the whole thing. But Irvin Kershner comes in and directs The Empire Strikes Back, where we are introduced to Yoda, like the opening battle sequence on the planet of on the cold snow planet of Hoth is super groundbreaking technologically, because at that time they were using a lot of deep blacks in order to represent space, obviously, and so when you did that, if you had a model that you were shooting, which they shot completely with models back then, it covers up for the fact that it's outlined by like a little black outline, right? Because it's out in space. So then if you're going to shoot on a snow planet where it's all white, you have a unique challenge if you're going to use these miniatures to be able to make it match without that outline, and they were able to do that. Super cool shit.
Yeah.
Which nobody had really seen at the time. The fact that they were doing it during the day on a snow planet, it was mind-blowing for the audience at that time.
Right.
We don't give a shit right now. We're like, whatever.
Yeah,
You could literally have it on a lava planet. We don't give a fuck. You could have it inside, if you could have it inside of Godzilla's asshole.
And we'll
we're like,
complain about it.
Yeah, we're
We'll
like,
be
that doesn't look like Godzilla's
It doesn't
asshole.
really look like his asshole.
Hell no.
The CGI is so obvious.
Where's his sphincter? So that's what I'm saying, right? Like we've been spoiled by special effects.
Yeah.
And I think probably, I'm not to be anti-tech or anything, but I think the miniature stuff looks so much better. Like
Yeah.
I just like all that stuff so much more, which is what the new Star Wars movies leans into. But we'll get to that. So The Empire Strikes Back. Now when people come to set, Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, all of a sudden, like, it's not just out in the open. You can't just, be shooting outside and like not be aware that people are taking pictures of the set, which hadn't happened before.
I see.
Nobody gave a fuck.
Uh-huh.
When they're shooting the first Star Wars movie, nobody gave a fuck that they're shooting the Star Wars
just
movie.
some random.
You could even tell the locals, we're shooting a movie called Star Wars over there. And they're like, hey, well, fuck yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, all of a sudden, there's so much attention. There's so much love for this new franchise, this burgeoning franchise, that they have to, like, be careful about scripts. Like, they didn't give a fuck before. You could leave your script at, a soup plantation and nobody's going to, like, at the studio's going to come arrest you. You know what I mean? But now it's like, they're like watermarking shit or like, their version of that for the day. Mm-hmm. They're just trying to make sure they keep track of everything because there's so much secrecy surrounding the story because everyone wants to know what the fuck's going to happen next. So then they wrap filming for it and the movie comes out. It's considered, and for me, it's the best Star Wars movie ever fucking made. The Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
No question about it.
And this was directed by not George Lucas.
Irvin Kershner.
Okay.
Yeah, he comes in, directs the best Star Wars movie of all time. And, and it's a credit to George Lucas, too, who was able to cede the reins.
Yeah.
And still be part of the production, but not ruin anything.
Yeah.
And Marsha Lucas was also uncredited as an editor for this movie.
Why was she uncredited?
I don't know. She's really actually.
They're like, you already got an Oscar.
She's one of the most elusive characters in the entire story of Star Wars.
Huh.
She really doesn't say much about any of this stuff, but she recently has spoken up about the new trilogy, which I will get to after we return from the break. We'll be right back. Please buy what we tell you to buy.
Yeah.
Please sell what we tell you to sell.
What we tell you to download. We've never told you to sell anything.
Maybe
Maybe
trade what we tell you to trade.
sell some things.
Buy oil commodities.
Sell your soul. Bye.
Wanted to give a shout out to one of our favorite sponsors, Best Fiends. Oh my gosh, so it's fall now. The
Yes,
weather
finally.
is getting colder.
This is our
and
favorite time of
crisper.
year.
It's my favorite time of year. All I want to do is curl up on a couch and play Best Fiends. And you know what else I like about this time of the year is that all of the levels, like there's different levels because they're constantly switching out the way that the lands look. You're always finding something new. There's always something new to discover.
Also, they also adjust like the puzzles year round too, which is super cool.
Yeah, and there's always just something new and exciting to discover. And I love all of their graphics. You never know what kind of character is going to pop up or what kind of slug that you need to defeat them. So Best Fiends is just such a fun puzzle game. It has tons of 5-star reviews, 100 million downloads. I'm obsessed with it. I also love that you can play it wherever you are. You don't need Wi-Fi to play.
No.
And also, it's free to download. That's $3. Free.
Free $0 to download.
Free $0. Yeah, and I love that it plays like a story where like you have the good guys, your fiends, and then you have the not so good guys, which are the slugs, and you need to collect more fiends to defeat the slugs.
I like that part of it too.
And not to brag, but I'm way farther along than Steve is. He's not very good at puzzles, but he tries.
Yeah, but it helps me if I can watch you do the puzzle.
Yeah, and it helps your brain a little bit to try
it
to
stimulates
figure it
my
out.
brain
Yeah.
actually quite a bit. Dude, and also they have thousands of levels, man. You're never going to find a level where you're like, okay, I've been to this level before.
Yeah, it's awesome. So download Best Fiends free today. Free. on the App Store or Google Play. That's Friends Without the R, Best Fiends.
Hello, we're back.
Welcome back, everybody. So, we're going to talk now about Return of the Jedi. Okay? I have very mixed feelings about Return of the Jedi. First of all, it's still a better fucking movie than like literally almost any movie that gets made nowadays, because like a lot of movies are pretty garbage now. And not to speak generally.
Oh, you just okay, yeah.
Okay. Because I don't like to do that.
No, I know.
Thank you.
You would never.
No. And so you know, the pressure's really kind of off now. Like Empire Strikes Back was such a huge hit that it's like, dude, we can do no fucking wrong, bro. Like,
right.
Literally just like we print money now. We fucking rock it and we wreck it. And so it was really just about wrapping up the story. But I have to say, like, I think the first half of the movie involving like Jabba's palace and all that kind of shit, super sick stuff. I think the second half of the movie is like whack and boring as fuck. At least as far as when they cut to the rebellion and what they're doing in space, I'm like, dude, we already seen all this shit, right? And this kind of gets into like my greater problem with Star Wars now, and even with the prequels, is like, dude, we've seen all this shit, man.
Right.
Like we've seen it so many fucking times.
I think that's what's hard about being a new viewer is that like I've seen so much Star Wars stuff without actually seeing Star Wars that it's not. I'm like, okay, I'm waiting for it.
Yeah, see, and I had the benefit of an enthusiastic father who took us to the movies because they did a re-release in the 90s of all the Star Wars movies for the special editions. Okay. And so I watched these things in the theater. Okay.
That's like I watched Wizard of Oz in the theater when I was a kid.
Yeah.
That was my favorite movie.
And it helps. It helps so much.
Totally does.
So
because you don't know what you don't have any expectations.
You're and I didn't even know what the fuck was going to happen next. I've never seen no Star Wars before. Yeah. Because I had seen like some of it like on TV, like in passing, like because it was on TV sometimes, but I really didn't pay attention to it like the way that you do in a theater.
Yeah. Nowadays, I mean, you find out about Star Wars through the spoiler first.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, dude, it's such a part of pop culture. You're like watching Family Guy and they're doing Star Wars spoilers up and out the ass. So, but I'm glad that I had the benefit of watching the Star Wars movies in order too, because like sometimes it's on TV, but it's like the third movie. Yeah. I guess now the sixth movie, but whatever. Right. But yeah, so by the time Return of the Jedi gets made, the biggest thing from that is that they felt like because the twist was so big in Empire, Luke, I am your father, that they had to do that again, kind of, which is kind of modern movies fall into this problem too, where, you know, the talk of the summer or the talk of whenever it was released. I think it was summer. I don't fucking remember. I think they do it usually in December time, but whatever. It was all about Luke, I am your father. Like, can you believe Darth Vader was fucking Luke's dad? That's wild shit, right? Well, you know, in the third movie, they kind of wanted to do that again. So they're like, hey, Leia is Luke's sister. And it's kind of like, okay. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not reverse. It's not that. Yeah. It's not that crazy. It's not like anybody wanted. It's like
when you're doing an improv scene, it didn't heighten.
Exactly.
Yeah. It just went sideways. Yeah.
So, and Luke, everybody wanted Leia and Han to be together anyway. So it's not like that disrupted anything. Because like, yeah, they kissed one time. And
it's not like in the Game of Thrones.
Yeah, exactly.
There was a love story going on. I won't spoil it, but yeah.
Brother-sister love story too.
No, it was aunt-nephew. Oh, that too, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Okay, yeah. But I mean, the one where like it's like, oh, you're rooting for them, but then, oh no.
Yeah, so
it's incest.
So with this one, they wanted to drop the mic like that, but like, it's whatever. But that did help to set up like a lot of the, tapestry of Star Wars history and stuff. So it's not necessarily a bad move. It's just they did it at the time for like, oh, you didn't see this coming.
Oh yeah,
but like nobody really cared that much. You know what I mean? It's cool. It's good to know, but it's like it's not like
it's like a fun fact.
Exactly. So, and it just helps to understand a lot of like what was going on, I guess. Obviously, George Lucas didn't have that as an idea because he had Princess Leia as Luke's romantic interest in the first movie. But whatever, it's all good. But he acts like he already had it all figured out, so it's fine. Some people LARP. Like, look, I think George Lucas didn't even have to try hard to like prove that he was a genius. But then he had to kind of LARP as one too. And sometimes people fall into that because he's going to every Hollywood party and they're like, "You're such a genius, George. Holy shit."
Of course, yeah.
And he was like you could write a story on a napkin right now and we could sell it for $200 billion.
I don't know, like sometimes because when you're creating something, like you're an artist and then you're creating something and sometimes it becomes bigger than you or it creates itself. So like maybe he didn't have that figured out from the beginning, but he like at least had the creative flow to like go with that direction, you know, because it was telling him to.
Well, look, it's similar to how J.K. Rowling all of a sudden is just like, hey,
Dumbledore's gay.
Dumbledore was gay the whole time. Yeah. That was totally intentional. And you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know what I mean? Or like, you know, whatever. I don't even know Harry Potter really, but she's like, you know, this person's gender fluid or what. It's like, bro, we get it. You're down with this movement, but you don't have to like pretend like you intended that the whole time.
Yeah.
And so George did that when he changed. Like he's like, this is actually the 4th episode. This is actually, you know, like,
I see.
You know what I mean? Like it's just bullshit.
It's like adding extra genius
to make you look even more like a genius. You already were a genius. You're good, bro.
You're fine.
You're 100% good.
Yeah.
Okay,
just be secure with your genius.
Exactly. Just own what you do and not what you don't. Okay, so then third movie comes out. It's kind of, you know, fans are happy to see the story end and all this kind of stuff, but it's not as good as how the first two were received.
Okay.
But that is nowhere near in comparison to how the prequels go. So the prequels come out. It's 1997.
Mm-hmm.
There's a trailer for Star Wars Episode 1.
This was everywhere, yeah.
Or it was 98, I think.
It was like on Taco Bell stuff.
Bro, it was insane.
It was everywhere.
And I remember downloading the trailer on like Kazaa and like getting it on my computer, which took like 4 days or something. But then like being able to watch it with my brothers and we're just freaking the fuck out about it and stuff. And we had all the Star Wars toys and all that kind of shit. Because we had watched the movies in theaters.
So your dad was a fanatic, yeah.
Yeah, my dad was into it. And then we became fanatics because we watched the movies in theaters sequentially together.
Yeah.
And then we were like, well, let's get the toys. Like, yeah. And nobody wanted to be Luke, by the way. It's fine.
Really?
Not really. But I like Luke. But like because of the first movie, everyone was more into Han. Han Solo was way more sicker.
Yeah.
For my personal taste, because he was funnier or whatever.
Yeah.
But I still love Luke, right? Like when you watch all of them and after Jedi, you're like, Luke's a badass, right? They really like complete his story and make him a fucking badass. So then they're like, you know what? We're going to take everything you knew. We're going to do the prequel. So like you already kind of know what's going to happen. When you see Obi-Wan Kenobi, who's played by Ewan McGregor, you know, he's probably the best actor in those movies, by the way. Like obviously him and Qui-Gon, aka Liam Neeson, were like above everyone else as far as like there's uneven performances.
What's hard though is like, so Natalie Portman at that time had already been acting for so long, but it's hard to act with a green screen. Like it's so like hard. Green screen acting is so hard. So hard. You know, their performances weren't great. But I don't blame them as actors. It's not easy.
No, hell no. So yeah, you can't even see where the fuck you are barely.
Yeah.
So she gets cast. Jake Lloyd plays Anakin Skywalker. He's the kid. And he has gone on now to say that he has denounced his Star Wars fandom. He burned all of his toys and all of his Star Wars stuff, and to call him jaded is like almost, you know, not a fair account because he is like deep. He's gone to the dark side. Like he's like fuck Star Wars.
How
basically.
Funny.
Because I think he was just bullied mercilessly.
Yeah.
Because dude, how crazy would that be to be the kid who's in the Star Wars movie?
I feel like I don't get how he got bullied. Like, how is he not like celebrated?
How did we all get bullied? It's
I guess, you stand out too much.
Doesn't matter what you do. Yeah, it's like you just don't know what you did to them.
I would go back to school thinking I was the coolest fucking person.
Oh yeah,
like,
but dude, imagine walking in there first day and then you find out that everyone thinks that your pod racers shit sucked or whatever.
Be like, I could buy whatever I want. I made lots of money.
Yeah, fuck you, you plebs. You gotta try. But no, so. yeah, the new Star Wars movie comes out. So this is kind of interesting too to add to this history because this is very, very new. Like literally within the past day and a half, Marsha Lucas comes out, and she's like, "I watched a preview through an ILM friend I had. I was invited to an early screening of episode 1, and I left there and I went and I sat in my car and I cried because it wasn't good." and it's sad too because like she was one of the brain children behind Star Wars.
Right.
You have to respect that.
Yeah.
Did she name these characters? No. Did she make these characters? No. But did she frame
the world,
the shape of their story and the world around them and everything? Of course she did. Mm-hmm. That's literally what she won an Oscar for. So she was as huge a part of it as anybody.
Why didn't they have her be part of the prequels?
Well, it's his ex-wife.
Oh,
George
gotcha.
Lucas's ex-wife.
I see.
They divorced in like 1983, I believe.
Okay, got it.
So, yeah, she's not involved. This is like 1999, I believe, is when it came out, when it actually released. And so, yeah, she sat in the car and cried, right?
Yeah.
So that's some context, and I'll get to more of what she had to say about everything in a sec. So then they do episode 2. It's largely forgettable. And I got to say, at the time when Star Wars episode 1 came out, it was goddamn sick. I'm not going to lie. I watched that shit in the theater. I was hyped as fuck. My cousin, who was like theater manager of like our Edwards Cinemas in San Diego, he got us like on advanced screening. I got to take the day off school.
Wow.
Well, I had to join school later, but I got to take like,
and
3 hours off school.
Yeah.
And then like go to school later and be like, I saw Star Wars this morning, you pieces of shit, dumb fucks.
Okay, sounds like you.
Yeah. And yeah, it was sick. And then I told my teacher, because he's like a huge Star Wars fan, and he's like, oh my God, how was it? And I was like, it's the best fucking Star Wars movie ever made. Because I was just so hyped.
Yeah, of course.
You get caught up, dude.
Yeah.
And there's everything you're watching on TV is about the new Star Wars movie. You watch a Mountain Dew commercial, it's about Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Taco Bell commercial, Star Wars movie. You're just caught up in the hype. You're
Plus, like, I had little cousins at the time, and they only listened to Disney radio, and so it was always like they do covers, but they put Disney songs. So it was like, my Mr. Anakin guy, maybe Vader someday later, but he's just a small
Weird Al
fry.
song.
Is it Weird Al?
That's a Weird Al song.
All right, well, they did like,
It wasn't even Disney covers.
No, but it was on Disney radio.
Oh, okay,
That's where I heard it.
Yeah. So that was Weird Al. Yeah, he did a cover of
Okay, so it was Weird Al,
American
but
Pie.
listen, I don't know
You're fine.
famous people,
You're
but
fine.
I did a YouTube video with Weird Al. Anyway, go ahead.
Hey, that's awesome. That's actually really awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
I never met Weird Al. That's really cool. Was he cool?
Yeah.
Or was he a piece of shit?
I honestly, the moment eludes me because I remember.
Oh my God, you're the worst.
I know.
Okay, thanks for finalizing that.
I'm
You're
sorry.
the worst.
Okay, I am the worst. Yes.
Okay, so yeah, so now largely the older Star Wars fan base is like, this is a piece of motherfucking shit.
Okay.
And the young Star Wars base, which I was part of, was like, this is fucking sick. You got not just one lightsaber on one side, but 2 lightsabers on the other side. You got a double blade lightsaber. That's fucking crazy. Like, we're just kids. We don't know.
Right.
We don't know story. We don't know any of that shit. We're just like, I see cool
It's
shit.
new. It's cool.
The choreography was amazing. The lightsaber battles were nuts. So like, we're just like, this is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But now when I watch it, I'm like, this is a piece of shit movie.
I think I cried during the third one.
Well, you should.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Because all the kids. Anyway, I don't want to
Oh,
spoil,
damn, yeah, that's
but
good.
yeah.
You can spoil. Everyone knows it's all good.
All right, they kill all the
They
kids.
kill the kids. So episode 2 comes out, or episode 2 gets made. Really, it's kind of uneventful. Same kind of shit, right? I think from my generation, we're like, that was so sick to see Yoda fight.
Mm-hmm.
And really, Obi-Wan Kenobi carried the whole fucking movie as he did the whole trilogy, frankly. And then,
He's got dreamy eyes.
Hayden, thank you. Hayden Christensen.
I thought Hayden Christensen was the hottest person.
So he comes on the scene.
Yeah.
He did a movie called
Is it the one with the
Shattered-
twins or something like that?
Yes, something. I can't remember
what
the
it's
fuck
called.
It was.
Yeah.
Shattered. I can't remember. Something about glass. I don't know. But George Lucas watched that, and then he's like, I think that's going to be my Anakin Skywalker's. And then, like you said, the cat he's a great actor.
Yeah.
You watch that movie. I really haven't seen it, but if you watch clips of him in that movie, he's not wooden. He's not like the Anakin that we all saw. He's like really good.
Mm-hmm.
But something about being in front of a fucking blue screen.
Yeah, because him and Natalie Portman scenes just like terrible. But you see her in the professor,
the professional,
much the professional as a 12-year-old, much younger, killing it, awesome actress. And then she did a few other movies, and she was great in everything. She's a very good actress. But
she was in fucking Heat as a kid. She was great in that.
That one with the mom, where the heart is, or something like that.
Something like that.
Or Anywhere But Here. Anywhere But Here.
I never saw.
That's what it's called.
I guarantee it.
Okay.
I had the biggest goddamn crush on Natalie Portman, by the way.
Me too.
It was insane. I wanted to marry her. I thought she was gonna be my wife one day.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was wrong. Sorry to disappoint.
I was wrong.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Although I also had a crush on her, so.
Well, there you go.
We could still get her.
Dude.
Tag team together?
Anytime she wants. Hey, dude.
You're welcome. Natalie Portman, you're welcome in our bed anytime.
Natalie Portman, we'll Eiffel Tower you, okay?
Oh my God.
How does that work again? We high five? What are we doing?
One person's on one end and the other one's on the other end.
Perfect.
Listen, I just want dinner. I don't need Eiffel Tower. I don't need Eiffel Tower. I just want to get dinner. Maybe have some drinks or something.
No, we're going to take you to the Sphinx.
Okay.
All right.
He's very intense. Go ahead.
So, yeah, second movie. Look, everyone hates on Hayden. I find him to be a likable guy only because I paid too much attention to this stuff.
Okay.
If I had just watched these movies, I understand why people are like, fuck him or whatever. But I disagree. I like, he was given really shit material, really shit dialogue, and basically everyone at the time, including the producer of all this stuff, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but they were just up George's ass. Mm-hmm. And just George, oh my God, everything you do is genius, man. It doesn't matter what the fuck you do.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't blame Hayden at all. He was just working with the material that he had.
Okay.
Then they could do the third movie. Look, it's probably the best one that they did of the prequels, right? Had the most consequence. Had things actually happening. Characters actually moving towards a conclusion, a finale.
Well, it made you feel sympathy for Darth Vader, you know?
Exactly.
Like, oh, there's a reason why he turned that way.
He wasn't just a little bitch farm boy. Like, unfortunately, they made Luke, like, in the first episode, right? Or episode 4. They kind of did that with Anakin, where he was just a whiner little bitch.
He was trying to save his family, and that way, by trying to save them, he destroyed them.
He destroyed himself too,
and himself.
Exactly. And so, yeah, he literally kills her and all that kind of shit. And then the Emperor's like, nah, she died because you like fucked her up. And then he's like, oh shit.
That's why premonitions aren't good.
Hell no, dude.
I ban premonitions.
Absolutely. I would be down for a congressional ban.
Because then through trying to stop them from happening, you make them happen.
That's the other thing that happened with these movies is like there's so much Senate stuff. It's like, what the fuck?
What?
There's so much Senate and government stuff.
Oh, right.
It's like, what the fuck are you guys doing with this shit? Nobody wants to go to Parliament for this shit.
Well, they're just showing like how, it's just a reflection of our culture.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic, but it's not fun to watch. Look, that's why they have C-SPAN, right? Who watches that shit? Exactly. Goddamn nightmare. But George Lucas was like, man, this C-SPAN shit's a pretty good idea, huh? And then his producer's like, fuck yeah, dude. You're George Lucas. That's an incredible idea.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have a galactic C-SPAN. And so they did that.
Yeah.
In every fucking single episode.
They paid a lot of money to have those scenes,
So then they finish it off, right? They that's capped. Many years go by, right? It's now like 2011, I believe, 2012, and Disney purchases Lucasfilm.
Mm-hmm.
So George gets out of the game. He gets like $3 billion, I believe, $2.5 billion. And we're getting new Star Wars movies. That's the first thing they say is we bought the new Star Wars movies, and we bought the George Lucas treatments. So he sat down and he put together episodes 7, 8, and 9. And he says, like, here you go, Disney. And that's part of the package. So he sells the entire Star Wars library, all the merchandising, everything to Disney, right? And Kathleen Kennedy is appointed the head of Lucasfilm, which was a George Lucas personal choice. Okay. And in my opinion, I don't think that she had what it takes. And this might be a crazy take for me to say, but I don't think she had what it takes to do a Star Wars movie. I don't think she had the respect for Star Wars that it takes to do it. And I think that she hired J.J. Abrams, who I thought did a kick-ass job with the Star Trek reboot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Star Trek fan as well. But like the Star Trek reboot with Chris Pine, the first one was really good.
That's what I heard.
It was a really good movie.
I kind of want to see it.
I liked it. You would like it.
People say that you don't have to be a previous Star Trek fan.
He did a great job.
Yeah.
But with this one, with episode 7, so I go to the premiere of Force Awakens.
I remember.
Look, you
and Dane Cook
I
were in
was a
that.
Disney employee at the time, and I twisted some fucking arms. I was like, you know what, guys, you get me in the motherfucking premiere.
Yeah.
And I told Amy, who was Maker, huge bigwig at the time.
Yeah, I remember.
I was like, you get me in this fucking thing.
Yeah.
And she did. She was great.
And
She was the best.
You're like, they say we can't bring our phones. I was like, everyone's going to have their phones. We can't bring it. And I was like, they're going to have their phones. And he was a good boy and he left his phone at home.
Well, I was so scared of them kicking me out.
Yeah,
and then
of
I had
course.
to put my phone in a trash can or something.
Yeah.
That I was just like, fuck it. I'm watching Star Wars Episode 7 fuck at the premiere
Yeah.
with everybody. I was there with Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher.
In Hollywood.
Everybody in Hollywood. George Lucas was there. Everybody's there. I was so excited. I got there way too early.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a nerd.
I know. It's so cute because you don't care about anything.
No.
But you cared so much about this
I
thing.
was so stoked on this, right?
Yeah.
So I get there and it's just me in a big fucking theater. Okay. And there's one other guy there and he's kind of annoying. He's like kind of shouting shit at the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously trying to get me laughing. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck, dude. And then I go, one of the ushers, because I was talking to the usher before I went to sit down and he was cool. And he was like, hey, Steve, there's popcorn back there if you want some. And I was like, fuck yeah. So then I go get some popcorn and then I go see the other guy get some popcorn too. And he's like at the straw counter or whatever with the straws where he's pushing down. He's like, be sick if as I push this, like there's a lightsaber sound. There should be a lightsaber sound. And I was like,
oh guys, he's doing so much shtick.
And then I looked over and it's fucking Dane Cook.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my fucking God, dude. And then he's just doing so much shtick with the
straw thing.
Yeah, but doing so much straw shit and popcorn shtick that I was like, God damn, I was in there with Dane Cook the whole time. No wonder I don't like this guy.
Damn.
It's fine. But I was never a big fan. It's fine.
Yeah.
So then, dude, the movie starts. I could not be more excited for a movie. I came in there with more goodwill than anybody could ever have for anything. And I left crestfallen. I felt like it was a big piece of shit, frankly.
Now you know how the previous generation felt when the prequels came out and you thought it was cool.
I got punished.
Yep.
So I'm walking out of there. No lie. 5 feet from me, right in front of me, is the face of my ire, J.J. Abrams. And he's just waiting to hear feedback from people. And I just look at him, and I just walked right by. Like, I was just in disgust.
Oh, man.
Because they just killed Han Solo, my favorite.
Uh-huh.
They killed him and just chucked him into a bin, basically.
Right.
And that's fine. If you want to do that, it's great. But, they just had they had a complete contempt almost, it felt like, for the original characters. They front-loaded all these new characters that really we didn't care about. And they just kept on pointing the camera at them like we're supposed to care because they're pointing the camera at them instead of giving us reasons to care about them. And then they tell us this chick is named Rey and they don't tell us anything about her and she's super powerful, but we don't know why. Ultimately, I was just like, well, okay, but I don't know why I care about her, though. You got to tell me why I care about her. Mm. She didn't even save the cat or anything. She didn't do fucking anything. Mm. She's just she's just center frame.
There.
She's just there. So, then that movie comes out. I'm not a fan. It felt like I was walking through a big fucking museum of Star Wars. They literally pulled a sheet off of R2-D2 at one point. Like he was in a museum.
Okay.
It was that bad, right? For me. And then they did a movie called The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi, I think, is the biggest piece of shit Star Wars movie ever made.
Like even more piece of shit.
Even more piece of shit. Basically, in the beginning of the movie, Luke Skywalker throws his lightsaber. So at the end of the Force Awakens, Rey hands Luke his lightsaber that she found, and it's supposed to be a big moment. And then literally the continuation of that scene is he chucks it. And the audience laughs, but bro, word happened to Luke Skywalker, and that's what they're counting on. They're going oh yeah, what happened to Luke Skywalker? You're gonna be interested in that. But really, you're no, I wasn't there for this shit. Everything cool that happened with Luke Skywalker happened off screen. I've talked about this before.
Mm-hmm.
so I won't dwell on it too much. But Marcia Lucas just came out and just said all the things that I've been saying about Star Wars for years, which feels really good because she's one of the reasons why Star Wars is alive even right now. And she came out and ratified all the things I've been saying. She said,
"Yeah, because you've been kind of alone in your rants about Star Wars.
Nuts. I mean, there are people, but I feel like we're a subsection of the internet.
Yeah,
because everyone else is like, what are you talking about? Are you some kind of misogynist? I'm like, I don't give a fuck. What are you talking about? Because a woman, you can't handle a woman's in charge, is in Star Wars. I'm like, Princess Leia was a woman. She was like kicking ass the whole time in Star Wars.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about? Like, you guys don't even know Star Wars. Like, it's just so annoying.
Yeah.
So then, so then Marcia Lucas comes out and she basically says, J.J. Abrams and Kathleen Kennedy don't know what the fuck they're doing. When they killed Han Solo, I was like, what? What the fuck? Like, she basically says all the shit that I've been saying for years.
Yeah.
Which feels good. Like, I feel like, especially because she's a chick too. So it's not like, she's some misogynistic force like they've painted out to be for years. Like, where everyone who doesn't like the new Star Wars is some kind of like hidden red pill guy.
Yeah. Or the new Ghostbusters.
Or the new Ghostbusters.
The girl Ghostbusters.
It just actually just sucks, actually. That's it.
Right.
And look, you can do all this shit that you want where you go like, oh, like, look, a chick is winning. And but it's like, no, this has happened before on screen. Like Charlie's Angels. I watched Charlie's Angels. The first one with Cameron Diaz and all that kind of shit. It was tight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, nobody was like...
Kill Bill?
Exactly. But nobody was like, oh, yeah, you're trying to make a woman, like, powerful now. Like, no, she just was kick-ass. They just made her kick-ass in the movies.
Yeah.
Like, oh, if you open the movie and you're just some misogynistic piece of shit and you see her and you're like, oh, yeah, whatever, what's a woman going to do? By the end of the movie, I think you're like, yeah, I think I know what she's going to do.
Yeah.
They just made the case for why she rocks. Like, Luke Skywalker, did I just talk about how much of a bitch boy he was? Yes. Did I like him for it? No. But by the time that it got to like the second, third movie, I got why Luke Skywalker was sick. They earned it. They didn't do that with these movies.
I see.
They just had Rey up there and she's like, well, yeah, like, I have all the powers for everything and there's no struggle. She never has to go through anything. So, to have Marcia Lucas out there saying all this stuff and saying that like Kathleen Kennedy and Kathleen Kennedy and J.J. Abrams don't get Star Wars. They don't get the Jedi. They don't get the reason why everyone loves this shit. And she at the end of it, she says, it's trash. Fucking quote me. She's like, JJ and Kathy, call me. Talk to me. She's basically like as frustrated as I feel.
Yeah. Like, let me save this.
Just let us tell you without you labeling us. Hey, shout out last episode. Without you just labeling us instead, like, just listen to us. Yeah. Just hear what we have to say and then decide if we suck or not. Not this bullshit where you're like, well, we know what you really are about. Well, fuck you.
Like, you're not allowed to not like this film.
I was raised by women, dude. I barely saw my dad for like the first 12 years of my life. I love the guy. It's not his fault. He was working a lot.
Yeah.
But I was raised by my mom and my older sister. Don't give me this shit about how I hate women or whatever.
Did people personally tell you that you hate women for not liking the film?
No, they did. That's a big talking point.
They just sweep the Vox, general sweep.
The VOX Vox group and like all the people who with blue hair out there right now. No offense to you if you have blue hair and you're not like one of these people, but they tend to say that there's like a misogynistic force who just can't stand that women are getting their due in movies, and it's like, what are you talking about? Yeah, like I literally.
It's because they didn't get to capitalize off of a woman lead yet. So
right,
there's a reason. It can't be their fault that the movie isn't good. It's because people can't handle a woman in charge.
Yeah, for sure. That's all it is. Meanwhile, like, literally Princess Leia is one of the most beloved characters in Star Wars by everybody's measure. But like, oh no. And like, yeah, she was in a metal bikini or whatever, but like, nobody's like...
So?
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, nobody's like, that's what made her powerful. Or nobody's like, that's what made her awesome. Yeah. Everyone thought she was tight already.
Exactly.
In the first fucking movie, everyone thought she was tight. Just because she got sexualized later on. I had nothing to do with that.
But okay, I mean, this is a whole point of contention too. Is that like, why can't a woman be badass and also in charge of her sexuality, like really sexy too? Why does it have to be one or the other? Like, you're either powerful or you're sexy. Like, you can actually be both. Yeah. You can be there's a lot of like powerful deities that were like sexy and also very powerful.
Dude, Ripley from the Alien movies was sexy as fuck, and she was kicked ass as fuck.
Yeah. Who cares?
Right.
It has nothing to do with. They're not mutually exclusive.
I know, exactly. But yeah, no. But everyone's afraid of the female body when they do that shit. They're like, well,
or you're demoralizing them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But like, bro,
not if they're empowered by it.
Dude, Carrie Fisher did so much shtick about it. It's like insane.
Yeah.
Carrie Fisher was hilarious, by the way.
She's great.
She did proofs and like a lot of touch-ups.
Didn't they have to make her die off screen too because she actually passed in real life?
Yep.
It's so sad.
It's so sad.
Yeah.
So sad. I was a huge Carrie Fisher fan. She did a lot of writing too. She was actually a brilliant writer, and she did a lot of uncredited writer work where they paid her to just like help with scripts, including like a lot of like Star Wars movies.
That's cool.
Yeah, she was really trusted and loved by a lot of people. Man, she was the best, dude. I'm a huge fan of Carrie Fisher. Also a fan of her cameo in the Blues Brothers. I don't know if you remember that.
I didn't watch it.
Oh yeah, she was like a crazy ex-girlfriend in those movies, and she like had guns and shit. She was really intense and like really funny. So yeah, and apparently she was a wildly funny person. I mean, I've only seen clips of her, so I don't know her personally, but
she seems like
she's hilarious even in these clips. She's goddamn hilarious. So anyway, so that's my Star Wars little Star Wars diatribe.
Recap.
Yeah.
Your little review of all of it.
Look, I'm a huge fan. I don't think they need to do a movie every fucking single year.
Well, too late. It's Disney. It owns it now.
I know.
Well, they've been doing The Mandalorian. How do you feel about that?
I know. So that's okay. Thank you. Thank you. You actually, that's where I have some hope, right? So I have to admit, nice. I have to admit, I haven't watched The Mandalorian, but I did get caught up on a major spoiler. You don't have to listen to this. Major spoiler.
Oh, what?
3, 2, 1. Mm-hmm. Oh, what? What is it?
I don't know. If we watch it, I don't know if I want to know the spoiler.
You don't care. You can spoil so much, bro. There's a pivotal scene where like it looks like all hope is lost. And I guess Luke Skywalker comes back and like saves everybody.
I thought he died.
No. So the Mandalorian's exactly, that's why I'm not spoiling shit for you. Mandalorian is set between Return of the Jedi and the 7th film.
Oh, okay.
So there's like, it's like when Luke Skywalker was young, and it's like after Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker, which we never got to see on film, which we all hope.
Sexy farm boy.
Well, right, but no, he's a sexy Jedi master, and we all hoped to see Luke in his prime doing some shit. But then the Last Jedi is like, he swears off the Force, and he thinks the Force sucks, and Jedi sucks. And we're like, oh, cool, this is fun. So you know what I mean? Like, so now we get to see Luke fully embracing the Force, fully embracing being Jedi Master, fully earning all the things he got from the first 3 movies. Finally, and it made a lot of fanboys cry out there. Like, fanboys are doing videos where they're fucking watching the shit and crying and shit. And then one of the guys from Lucasfilm now, his name is Pablo Hidalgo, he actually took a big shit on those fans and called them like little pussies and stuff.
Oh my god.
But like, they're just like, yay, we got Luke back or whatever. Yeah. And then like this guy from Lucasfilm is telling them they are all man babies or whatever. That's what I mean. Like, there's some
why do they hate their fans?
There's a weird
so
undercurrent of fan hatred going on.
There's like a good guy, bad guy fan.
Yes,
thing.
And labeling.
The dark side. These are the dark fans.
Exactly.
The light side
it's
fans.
So weird. Unless you just unequivocally love everything they've done, then you're like a problematic whatever. So yeah, it's stupid. Everyone was like basically celebrating the new Star Wars, and then people are calling them like little bitches from.
It's like when I say that some Eminem albums weren't as good as what I know is a good Eminem album, but people are like, how could you say that?
No, it's like you crying when you listen to Headlights.
Yeah.
And then Eminem calling you a little pussy. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, pretty much.
And like, I know you'll cry at Headlights every time.
Yeah. It's sad. I mean, it's like, wow.
And you should.
He finally forgives his mom, but she's not mentally available.
Mama, I love you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I remember that part. And you cry every time.
Yeah.
But you do, actually.
I do.
So yeah, but that's my point, though. Is like, imagine Eminem coming out and being like,
that's why I use the analogy. I don't think I would take offense to it. I'd just be confused. I'd be like,
yeah, but that's what happened. A lot of Star Wars fans are like, wait, why are you doing this?
Emotion in me.
Wouldn't you be happy that we care?
Yeah.
It's so there's a weird antagonistic thing happening. Probably because he's been in charge for a couple of years and like he's like, well, fuck the fans, they don't get it. They don't get what we're trying to do. And like instead of just like listening to them, you're doing this like team-based bullshit thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it goes back to what we talked about last episode. Anyways. Thank you for listening. I've definitely gone over. Yeah. I could talk about this for another hour, frankly. Will you allow me to?
We'll save
May
it.
I?
No, we'll revisit it later.
Okay, thank you.
We'll do the prequels of Steve Green's talking about Star Wars. Be sure to check out our Patreon, patreon.com/sticky. We do Crypto Corner, and we do like extra episodes of shit they don't tell you. We do live streams every month, and it's really fun. And the Discord community is awesome.
Incredible. We love you guys.
Also, be sure to rate the show, and we will see you next week.
Rating the show helps a ton.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.